Okay, guys, I really enjoyed Daniel, so I just wanted to like do my take of Daniel. Okay, so in Daniel 1:1, Nebuchadnezzar takes Jerusalem from Jehoiakim, right? God gave Jerusalem to Nebuchadnezzar, and he took some of the vessels of God into his God's house, right? And told his top eunuch to keep and pretty much take care of for 3 years the really smart, talented children or whatever. So that's what he did. He took like the scientists and stuff, and Daniel was amongst those people that were taken and nurtured for 3 years until they could be presented to the king, right? The king gave him a portion, gave all of these smart kids a portion of his meat and his wine. Daniel didn't want to defile himself, so he just asked for pulse and water, right? So that's what he was given by the eunuch that was over him, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And Daniel's name that was given to him, Belteshazzar, right? It's pretty cool, right? I love these names. The eunuch that was over those four, and God had given favor to those four, right? So the eunuch that was over those four was like, listen, you are putting me at risk if I don't have you looking a certain kind of way by the time these 3 years is up and I gotta present you to the king. So I'm gonna need you to pretty much eat this meat and wine and stuff. And they was like, Daniel was like, give me 10 days, bruh. Give me 10 days. Basically, that's what he's saying. So give me 10 days. Just pulse and water and watch the four of us look better than all the other children that are getting meat and wine, right? So he does it. 10 days goes by, and Daniel and Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego look healthier than everybody else. So he continues to just give them pulse and water, okay? So when it was time for the king to have all of them brought before him, Daniel and the other three, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, had the most wisdom and were very favored after having a conversation with the king. Then in chapter 2, King Nebuchadnezzar has a dream, and he tells the people to bring him the sorcerers, the magicians, the astrologers, people like that, the wise men, all of that, right? So they come. This eyebrow is crazy. What in the world? They come, and this is what's crazy. Like, okay, so they come, and King is like, listen, I had a dream. It messed up my sleep. It took my sleep away. I ain't been sleeping good because these dreams are so disturbing. I don't remember the dream. You need to tell me the dream and interpret the dream. Like, who, what, huh, sir? So those people like, wait, that don't even make sense. Like, nobody can do that except for the gods that are not even like connected to flesh, bro. What? This is not something that we can even do. So he's like, okay, so y'all false advertising basically is what you're trying to tell me. And so he's like, so it's time to set a decree and get all of y'all out of here because y'all fake and y'all phony, and I don't appreciate it. You can't tell me what the dream is and interpret the dream. What you here for? Arioch, one of the captains of the king's guard, was in charge of killing all of the wise men or whatever, right? Because they wasn't doing what they were supposed to be doing or whatever. So he goes to, take Daniel and them out. And Daniel like, whoa, what's the haste? Like, why he want to do this right now? What happened? So he tells him about the whole situation, and he like, whoa, okay, just give me some time. So Daniel goes back to his boys, his 3 homies or whatever, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And he like, listen, y'all need to be praying for wisdom, because we need to know what this dream is, and we need to know the interpretation ASAP. Okay, so they're praying, and Daniel is praying, and then Daniel has a dream with the interpretation and the vision and all of that, right? So he wakes up and he's like, man, praise to God, because only you could give out this kind of wisdom. Like, only you can reveal secrets like this. So at this point, he goes to Arioch, the king's guard, and he like, listen, I got you. Tell the king I can interpret the dream. And so that's what he does. He goes and tells the king, I got somebody from the children of Judah that can interpret this dream, can show you the vision and interpret the dream. Arioch brings Daniel to the king. The king's like, listen, I heard you can interpret this dream. And he's like, yes, I can, based off of the God in heaven. And he's praising God before he even does it, because he always gives God the praise. Like, every time he does something, you're going to hear him, like, reiterate that God is really the source. So that's what happens. And then, Daniel interprets the dream. He tells the dream, and then he interprets the dream. But make sure you read that in detail. This is just my interpretation. Nebuchadnezzar is like, wow, your God really did tell you my dream. That's crazy, like, because that really was my dream. So after Daniel revealed the dream, then Nebuchadnezzar had Daniel in, pretty much in his kingdom. I don't know. I feel like he was separated from everybody else, because it says he was in the gate of the king. I feel like that means he was separated, because then the next situation that happened, he wasn't around for that. He didn't go into the fiery furnace. Okay? Because really, when you hear about Daniel, you only think about what? The lion's den. But when you read it, it's so much deeper than that, right? So then, what's about to happen in chapter 3? Okay, so in chapter 3, Nebuchadnezzar builds a golden image, and he gets everybody important together, the governors and all these people together, and he's like, listen, when y'all hear the harps, y'all hear the music play, I'm gonna need y'all to all bow down to this golden image. And everybody understands that, right? And everybody like, yep, we got it. You say so. We bowing down to the golden image every time we hear the music. So everybody's actually doing this. But then the Chaldeans, I don't think I'm saying that right, but it might be that they noticed that some of the Jews, are now not bowing down every time the music play or whatever, right? So they come to King Nebuchadnezzar and they like, listen, ooh, I'm telling. And they like, listen, they not bowing down every time the music play. So then he brings Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego to him. He like, listen, I heard that y'all ain't been bowing down, but I'm gonna give you this chance to get right, all right? When you hear this music, you need to bow down. I don't know which one it was. I don't know if it was Shadrach, Meshach, or Abednego. But they said, listen, don't even waste your time. We ain't gotta answer you calmly or softly. I'm gonna let you know now, big dog, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. So he gets super angry. Nebuchadnezzar gets super angry right then and right there. And he like, listen, okay, pop that fiery furnace up a little bit to the seventh power or whatever, right? So doing that, he gets his big dogs, his security, his strongest guards or whatever, to bind the three up. That's why I said that I don't know where Daniel at, because I remember that he was in the king's gate, but like right now Daniel wouldn't have bowed down either, and he would have been going in with him. But that wasn't the case, so I don't really know what the king's gate mean. I be trying to think of this in a real way, like how stuff is set up. So then yeah, he told him tell the guards that he had bind the three up, pop that thing up 7 levels, make it even hotter. So then the people that's over here getting it all hot, they die. Out here trying to you done sacrificed your own guards at this point, trying to make stuff even hotter. And he like saying, let's see if this God will save you at this point. That's what you're saying. And they're like, listen, we ain't doing it. So we're not bound down to you. So, and we're sure that our God will save us. If not, we ain't bound down regardless, but I'm sure that he's going to save us. But anyway. So then they go in. My thing is, who closed the door behind them? That was, I know that might be a stupid question, but I really need to know, because think about it. Like, if the guards already done got burnt up, so they went in anyway. They went into the fiery furnace. The furnace, I don't really know what a furnace looks like, except I'm thinking of when Dexter in this last season of Dexter, when he was getting rid of the bodies in that fiery furnace. I thought it was, but anyway, so they go in or whatever, and Nebuchadnezzar like, listen, I know we only put 3 people up in there, right? And they like, yeah, we put 3 people in there. He like, listen, why do I see 4? And one of the son of God. And this was just crazy, because now I got all kinds of questions like, did Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego see what Nebuchadnezzar saw, or was that only for Nebuchadnezzar to see what he saw? You know what I'm saying? Like, is that crazy or not? Like, because they knew that God was going to protect them. They knew that God was in the midst of them. But did they get to see what Nebuchadnezzar got to see? That's some of the thoughts that go through my head when I read that part. Why can I not get this off? Hold on. So then Nebuchadnezzar goes to like the mouth of the fiery furnace, and he screams in there, oh yeah, y'all come on out now. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, come on out. And blessed be your God who saved you from me, basically. You know what I'm saying? And y'all didn't bow down, and y'all's God is really the real deal, okay? So you really would have thought by this time Nebuchadnezzar would have really knew. But Nebuchadnezzar still had a lot of learning to do at this point. So he made a decree. Anybody who speaks down on the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego pretty much cut up in house of dunghill. And this is something that you see a few different, I think maybe twice or 3 times, twice maybe, that he said that same thing. And that makes me think that certain kings had certain ways that they preferred to kill people. In chapter 4, Nebuchadnezzar has a dream, right? This time he knows what his dream is. And of course he gets the astrologers, the sorcerers, blah, blah, blah. All of them, they don't ever know nothing. I don't know if they don't never know nothing, or if it's just they don't ever know nothing in this book, but they don't know the answer. But Daniel knew. Because the king tells him about this dream, about this huge tree, and it basically gets cut down to a stump after something comes down from heaven. Basically, it's a crazy dream, y'all. You know, you gotta go into deep. You gotta go read for yourself to find the details of this part. He's saying, yeah, basically, you about to be out of here. You about to your kingdom about to be out of here for a little bit. If a few other different kingdoms gonna pop up, they gonna be decent at first. Then they're gonna get worse and worse, and then you get it back. But when you get it back, you're gonna know who gave it back to you. You're gonna know where your help came from this time. You're gonna be humbled at this point. So after Daniel interprets this dream, he's like, to prevent this from coming to pass, why don't you just change up your ways? It's like, basically help the poor out. Like, do something good. 12 months after the conversation with Daniel, he goes into the palace of Babylon, and he's like, listen, look at all the stuff I built. Look at all of this. Look at all of that. Before he got the sentence finished, before he was finished talking, the dream came to pass, and the kingdom, I guess something told him it was gone from him, and then it was gone from him. It was gone from him that very hour. So basically, yeah, it's gone, bro. And he got it back eventually. But once he got it back, oh yeah, the mood was changed. He was a whole lot more humble, and he wasn't on that same look at what I've done time. You know what I'm saying? At the end of chapter 4, you're going to see Nebuchadnezzar really humble and talking about how God will bring you down and explain to you that you're not what you thought you was. Not really like that, but he was just saying he'll humble the proud. Chapter 5, you see Nebuchadnezzar's son. He drinking. He having, I'm guessing, like a party. So he calls for the people to bring him the vessels that his dad had put up, actually the vessels of God. And he asked for them so that himself, his wife, his concubines and them could drink out of them. So they drinking wine out of the vessels or whatever, right? So they getting lit. This part is about to be crazy, y'all. This part is crazy because, like, okay, so they drinking. My eyeball burn. I'm guessing that's glue in my eyes. Oh. So anyway, yeah, they drinking or whatever, right? And then what's crazy is bruh sees some fingers of a man's hand start writing. Basically writing. It's just fingers of a man's hand. And this is where, let me see if I can find where it said, I think his loins got loose. Hips were loose. That's what loins mean, hips. His loins were loose. And then his shaking, he was shook, bruh. Imagine seeing fingers just writing on the walls or whatever. It's a man's hand, but it's like really like fingers writing and there's no body attached. Belshazzar is scared. His knees are shaking. His hips is loose and stuff. I don't know how your hips get loose, but his hips got loose. His loins was loose. So, then he's calling for all the sorcerers and the wise men and blah, blah, blah. Basically, because he got to know what the writing on this means. So, when he calls, they basically like, yeah, your daddy had to use Daniel. Because Daniel be knowing some stuff. So they get him Daniel, and Daniel comes to interpret it. And Belshazzar is like, listen, I'll give you gold. I'll give you this. Daniel like, no, I don't need all that. I interpreted it and all, but I don't even need all that. And before Daniel interprets what is written, he's like, going over the stuff that happened to Nebuchadnezzar, Belshazzar's dad. He's like, listen, he lost the kingdom. He got himself together, but you already knew this. But yeah, and still we here having this conversation, and evidently you ain't doing something right. So this what this writing say right here, it ain't nothing that you want to hear. But okay, I'm gonna tell you what it is. And in the same night, somebody killed him and took his kingdom. So in chapter 6, King Darius got these crazy princes and presidents that are jealous of Daniel, and they try to find fault in Daniel, and they realize they can't find anything wrong with him. So they know that they can find fault when it comes to his God. So they get together and they tell King Darius to make a decree that for 30 days, anybody that's praying to their God, petitioning to their God, or any of that will be cast into the lion's den, because that's not what's going on. And then they're like, yeah, sign this, King Darius, so that it can't be reversed. Totally agrees. Yeah, lion's den for anybody petitioning their God in this 30 days. Daniel already heard about it and everything. He ain't pressed at all. He goes, he prays to God 3 times a day like he been a doing. Ain't nothing changed. But the day of the week, bruh. So then these princes and presidents go to Darius and they're like, listen, yeah, boy, didn't you already agree that we that we not ain't nobody praying to nobody else? Ain't nobody praying to their God during this 30 days. He's like, yep, I decreed that. He's like, listen, Daniel did. And so, yeah, he's guilty of that. He definitely did it. Hold up. You know, the king is actually thinking on this thing because I feel like he really didn't want to deliver Daniel into the lion's den. He really thought about that thing. But then those presidents and people came back and was like, listen, your word is your word. You signed it, bruh. So it is what it is. You know, they pressing the issue. So, man, chapter 6, verse 16. The king threw Daniel up in there, and he threw him in the lion's den, and then he said, the God that you continually serve will deliver you. And then they rolled a stone over it, put a little signet on it, and that was pretty much it. So the king went to bed. Didn't have his little instruments playing before he went to bed that night. I'm guessing you didn't sleep well. And then he rose up early. He gonna scream up in the lion's den. Daniel, did your God deliver you? He was like, yes. Daniel yelled back, yeah, he sure did. He closed the mouth of the lion. Bruh, I'm definitely comfortable. My God is awesome. I mean, I don't know if Daniel was thinking all of that. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he didn't say all that. They didn't say he said none of that. What did he say? He said he shut the mouths of the lions. They haven't hurt me. Because I'm innocent, bro. I ain't even do nothing. Like, you just... And the king was exceedingly glad for... So, yeah, the king was happy for him. Let him out. Then the king got the presidents and stuff and the princes that originally accused Daniel or came for Daniel and wanted him dead, basically. The king had them thrown into the lion's den, and didn't nobody close the mouth of the lions on that time. And so the lions had breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I guess. So that's what happened. Then King Darius made a decree that everybody be fearful of the God of Daniel, because he really serving the God that delivered him out of the mouth of the lion. Yeah, he real. Okay, so now we in chapter 7. Hold up, give me a minute. Okay, so when we get to Daniel chapter 7, I got confused. I'm not gonna confuse nobody else with what I got out of it. And so I'm not gonna tell you what I got out of it. I was just confused, like completely confused. Like somewhere along the line, I guess Daniel had a dream, and somewhere along the line, the angel Gabriel came and interpreted some stuff. So yeah, that's why I'm not explaining it, because I could be completely wrong, guys, completely. And I have been having a hard time with a few different books in the Bible. Like Isaiah was a bit confusing. A few, and it's like I said, I'm doing an audio Bible, so it's like I've heard about it already. Certain things, Solomon, I've heard about him, but not in the book of Solomon. And then I hear about him again, and it's like a recap, but it's more detailed. I don't know, girl. I don't know. I mean, I'm just going through like a hard copy at first, like, you know, just listening to the whole Bible at first, trying to get what I can get out of it. And then the second time that I go through it, I want to get through the whole thing one time this year, but then the second time that I go through it, I want to be out here taking notes and see like what, I don't know, see if I missed anything the first few times, because I listen to the same book a few times when I'm comprehending it. But like I don't think I did the same thing with Isaiah, because Isaiah was confusing, girl. I don't even know if I don't know, maybe I just gotta sit down and focus, because I like to listen to it at work, because sometimes when you listen to it at home, if you're sitting still, honey, I can go to sleep. I can get me some good sleep listening to the Bible, and that is probably not a good thing, but it's the truth. I wonder, is anybody else trying to get through the whole Bible? And let me know if I said anything wrong. I'm learning. I know a lot of people already know, but I don't know a whole bunch of stuff. I'm learning, and I love learning about the Bible because it's so much fun. It's not like the Young and the Restless kind of stories, but it's kind of like stuff that be happening in your family kind of stories, and you can't tell everybody what be happening. But yeah, this is like the family drama that be happening in your real family, but you can't be telling your family business and stuff. So it's like, yeah, it happened in real life. Just put yourself in those people's places, and you see how like really ride or die those people are for God. But I try to do my makeup with these kind of shirts because I drop makeup everywhere usually. I feel like I'm doing some steps wrong, but I'm like, I kind of feel like I'm nervous a little bit. I'm really nervous about this video because the word of God is really serious, and I'm just giving y'all my interpretation, and I don't want to play with the word of God. I don't want no smoke, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, like, I'm just doing my best. I want y'all to hear something that I want y'all to get from Daniel, kind of some stuff that I got from Daniel. I like the book of Daniel, and felt like it would be a little entertaining if I did it with makeup. But y'all let me know if you liked it or not, if you like this video or not. I feel like I'm missing some steps with my makeup because I'm so nervous. Okay, so shout out to you if you stayed around for the entire 30+ minute video, considering I wasn't even in the frame for some of the shots. I'm so sorry, but I'm not really good at these kind of videos. So Anyway, I'm gonna do my little 2 slits, and make sure y'all have your relationship with your Bible, and make sure you double check everything that I said on your own. Okay, so that's my little 2 slits with my concealer. People be thinking I really got 2 cuts in my eyebrows. And then my husband just gave me money, so we about to go get my nails done. Thank you. And my toes. Yes. Okay. Are they defined enough? They're good enough for me. They're good. Okay, I love you, and you can't do nothing about it.